welcome to my channel. Well, I don't have a lot planned for this video. I just wanted to show you a couple of things and ask a favor of my subscribers and or viewers, and that is there's a couple of channels out there, knife channels, that could use your help. And I've already talked to you once before about Toad on the Hill. He's only 4 away from 100, and that's just one of those milestones that if you reach, you start feeling, I don't know, for me it started feeling like, hey, maybe people might like, hearing me talk about knives, which, blew me away that anybody would find any of this interesting. But yeah, if we could help, because I've got like 800 and something subscribers, and I'm sure 4 of you could easily just go over there and hit the subscribe button and bump him up over to 100. Because, I look at other knife channels, man, and they've got thousands of subscribers. Some of, the well-known ones get up there in a million. And it just makes a lot of, it really helps content producers, knife producers when they're going along, because they're struggling. It's not easy. You don't know if people, you can get caught up in a lot of things. Comments can even knock them off, Some people be going along and they get a couple of negative comments and they're not ready for it. And they don't have a lot of subscribers, and they go, maybe a knife channel is not what I need. And the thing is, I think variety really helps in knife channels, because you get to experience a bunch of different knives that you might not purchase, and not only experience, you're not getting it from the salesman's standpoint, like a company comes out and says, buy my knife, buy this knife, it's perfect, there's nothing wrong with it, it's an excellent knife, and blah, 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 and of course they want to push their product. They're not going to show you anything negative about it. Then you need to get other people that review it and say, well, the paint, even though it's good, it does chip off after a while. And other people will say, well, that's kind of like a knife patina. You either like your knife to look pristine and brand new, or if you're using it, it's going to show wear, just like anything else. And if it really bothered you, you could get some touch-up paint, just like a car. If it gets a scratch on it and it bothers you, you can fix it. Or you can just say, well, that's the first of many. I drive a Jeep, so I looked at my Jeep and I went, boy, poor Jeep. It hasn't had a car wash in probably 10 years, maybe more. More than 10 years. Yeah, I haven't washed it since I moved to Texas. So yeah, it's looking a little rough, but it's a Jeep, It's not a show car. Anyway, let's get back to knives. So with inflation and with everything else going on, this is kind of a theme that I was thinking about. Toad on the Hill is one of the knife channels that I wanted you to check out. Another one is Feel the Burr. He's beyond, I think he's got 200 and something subscribers, but he's a pretty good channel. He does traditional knives, and he's not trying to tell you what to buy or anything, it's interesting, so if I can help out people that are just starting, on knife channels that are starting, if I find them interesting or whatever, I'll pass it on. I don't know these people, I'm not getting any kickback or anything like that. It's just a way of trying to help out, people, because I was at that position myself, and I know how it is. I ran another channel also, and that's where I experienced a lot of the YouTube experience, both good and bad, So I kind of wetted my feet on my earlier channel. All right, now as far as like discussion about knives and stuff, I tend to go with budget knives, and it's going to become more important to people that like knives, budget knives, because the price of everything is going up. Like my rent, normally I'm on a lease, of 1 year. Usually that's the lowest price you get, for renewal. And they sent me a letter a little while back that had a price breakdown of almost like 12 months. It was a big span, and at the end they had raised the annual rate for my apartment went up $275 a month. I'm on Social Security. I didn't get that big of a, Social Security increase. And I'm going to be eligible for Medicare, Medicaid this month or next month, basically. So they're going to take out another $170 out of my the money that I was getting. So I'm getting, double whammied on this stuff. Well, I looked at the chart. I was, first like, wow, there's nothing I can do. I'm just going to have to pay it. You got to give them 30 days in advance notice when you're going to move out. And they don't give you the increase of your rate unless you go down there and bug them. So by the time you know how much your rate is going to be, it's too much. You're going to get a early termination fee or some crap, some fee they'll hit you with. Anyway, what I did was I looked at it, and I said, wait a minute, 10 months, it's only $90 more a month. And at 12 months, it's $275. I think I'll go with 10 months. And that's what I did. My rate increased by $100 a month. Still, that's a lot. But, of course, water went up also. That's something that they can't control, the city does. But still, the price of everything is going up, plus inflation. People are going to be more into budget knives. And our budget knife price is probably going to go up a little bit. I would say like these right now are $17. That's a pretty good price for your average Rough Rider, but it used to be like 10 or less. You can still get lesser priced Rough Riders and stuff like that. Now, as far as this Kydex sheath, why I have this out here, this little sub boker won't fit in this Kydex sheath made for a regular size boker unless you take the pocket clip off. I took the pocket clip off this, and I found a couple of interesting things. One, the space that you've got in there for this pocket clip, when you remove this, there's going to be some gap when you tighten the screw back down. If you tighten it too tight, like I was doing, I thought, oh no, I've stripped it out, because it was feeling like something weird was going on. If you tighten this down too much, the knife will not deploy. It torques it. It twists it so much. It twists the metal so much, I guess it's so small, that you can't torque that guy down too much. So if you've ever had one of these and you took the pocket clip off, you might have found that. Sometimes that comes into play. The other thing is, even though this Kydex sheath, it will fit in there without the pocket clip on there, man, is it difficult to get off. This one already has a pretty tight retention to begin with, but when you put this guy in there and it goes, this far in, you've only got like that much of the knife sticking out. And even with a lanyard, you go to pull this thing, you damn near break your neck. I've gotten to where one hand I grab the cord or the back of the sheath, so it's not really pulling on my neck. But yeah, so this is not really practical this way. I mean, yeah, it does hold it and everything, but I'd much rather go with a pocket clip on it. So be aware of that if you ever get, an automatic knife or something, and it doesn't want to deploy after whatever you did to it. Maybe you torqued the screws incorrectly. If anybody's ever torqued anything, there's usually a torquing pattern, like on a 5-star lug. nut, you wouldn't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tightening. You go opposite ends, to make the metal come down evenly instead of warping it. And I think that's what happened with this little guy right here. Is after I, got it pretty tight, I went, man, I'm not going to go any tighter than this. These are little threads, it's going to strip it out. And that's when I realized, oh, you dummy, it's the space. That's why it's not meeting up. I was trying to get this barrel to meet up like this, so there was no gap, and I'd forgotten I removed the clip. So anyways, there you go. That's just a little short one there for you, just a little discussion of what's been happening with me. I've got more knives to review. I've got more stuff coming in. But, yeah, this is just something I wanted to see if we could do. If we could just bump up Toad on the Hill to past 100. And if you would like, if you like traditional knives and you want to check out another channel and also help them with subscribers, is Feel the Burr. They're both people, it sounds like they're from the UK. I know Toad on the Hill is. I haven't watched enough of Feel the Burr's videos to see if he says where he's from, but his accent is English, so there you go. Yeah, that's pretty much just all I had there for you. Just playing with knives today, and sharpening knives, and looking at knives and videos of knives. Oh, also, whenever you're watching a video, like I'm watching on my phone, look down below the description of the video, and you should see whether or not you're subscribed or not to the channel. Also, whether or not the bell notification is on. Because a lot of times I'm watching channels to people I've been subscribed to for a while, and I've watched their videos on a regular basis. I look up to it, and it says, it gives me the option to subscribe to them. Like I wasn't subscribed, and I know I was. So YouTube will go through and unsubscribe you from channels. I don't know why. I guess they think that maybe when you subscribed originally you were a bot, or something. Supposedly the way you do it is to help prevent that is once you subscribe to a channel, you watch some of their videos, just so they know it wasn't an automatic subscription type thing, where somebody just paid to have subscribers for whatever reason. Anyways, there you go. I think my next giveaway will be when I reach 1,000 subscribers, and I'm trying to think of something for the European aspect of it, because I want it open to both, both sides. No matter where you're from, if you can, if you were the winner, I would want you to get something. I'm thinking about the possibility of like a Heine Haynes gift certificate, so that way you get something that you can spend on whatever kind of knife and the legality of the knife and everything. It won't be seized by customs and all that other crap, And it'll still give, because the European viewers and everything, or people overseas, make up a pretty big majority of the people that watch videos, and they comment a lot and everything, and so they really shouldn't be penalized any more than they already are from living in restrictive knife law countries and stuff. But yeah, I'll try to, I started off making all of my giveaways open to overseas, and I'm still going to do that. I'll just try to figure out a way to do it, like I said, when it comes up. I'm still a ways off. I'm like 800 and something subscribers, so, I'm in no big hurry. Like I said, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and I'm still going to make videos, So there you go. Sorry to ramble on a little. I keep bringing out different knives up here just to remind me that I've got knives that I haven't messed around with sometimes. And I like to put the latest ones in there before I forget what they are. Yeah. There you go. I hope you are having a great day, and just remember, everybody's on a budget, and that's when budget knives are going to come in more handy. Because, like I said, for me, I can get a novelty knife, man. I can get a knife like this and go, wow, wee, I got a knife. You know, I could find all kinds of interesting things out of and it doesn't cost that much. If you're the type where I'm in, where you like to get knives, but it doesn't always it doesn't have to be expensive, is what I'm trying to say. And as far as what a knife is, it's not just the steel. It's the design of the knife. It's the edge geometry. It might be. There's a lot of things that goes into it. This may remind you of an uncle or father or whatever you had, or grandfather. Just, you personally may not like that particular style of knife, but your grandfather carried it, And then after a while, you might start using it and saying, hey, now I see why you like this stuff, There's nothing super fancy about it, but it gets the job done. And before YouTube and before the internet and all that other stuff, the way you bought a knife was you either saw it at a supply store or a tractor store or something like that, a hardware store, and picked it up. Or if you were like me, you would look at knife catalogs if they had them, or magazines, and you would have to mail order things. And there wasn't as much information available about knives. It usually was the only information we ever got was from the manufacturer, and that was usually always glowing and telling you how great it was and cut you out of a burning car and all this other stuff, really hyping it and never letting you know about the potential downsides of a knife. So like I said, the more variety we have of knife channels, the more variety of knives you're going to be exposed to. Some of us are not ever going to be able to go over to Europe, and look through the different knives and pick what they want and stuff like that. And it's a different market over there. It's the same way with the people overseas. They probably get to see a lot more knives that they'll never get to be able to touch, Like, sorry, being able to push a button makes this knife so dangerous. Just like the angry watermelon, or the tadpole. That thing is illegal over in Europe, UK, stuff like that. But you could put a much more capable knife in somebody's hands, and hey, it's legal for whatever reason. It fits our little parameters. Knife laws are stupid. They're usually written by people that don't handle knives, and only experience they've got with knives is fear. They're afraid of knives and stuff. Anyways, I've rambled on too long. This is a long one. It's a Sunday, so Sunday morning. So that's the way it goes. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.